Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. And you know, whenever we have things happening in our community, we always turn to local law enforcement to give us the updates and to give us the real story about what has happened. We turn our attention to Travis Terrio, Chief of Police. Travis, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, Chief, we had a shooting earlier this week on the 18th, huh?
Yes, sir. So around lunchtime, we had reports of some gunshots being fired, and when our officers responded, they located a victim that was suffering from a gunshot wound. And it appeared that there was some type of family disturbance that had occurred, and Brandon Anderson had actually discharged a weapon in the direction of two family members and struck one of them in the upper body. Well, we would like to report that Mr. Anderson has been taken into custody. Yesterday, he turned himself into authorities with the assistance of our community partner, Mr. Jerome Boykin, with the NAACP, and we would like to thank him for that assistance.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Anderson has been arrested for 2 counts of attempted murder and is currently incarcerated.
Wow. And so it's one of those things where we find out about these kinds of things. You guys respond very, very quickly, and it's nice to have partnerships with people in the community that can kind of convince people to do the right thing.
That's right. And I think that's one of the things we're most proud of, and that's the working relationship we have with all of our civic organizations and our citizens within the community. And you know, it is just the goal of the Houma Police Department to do what's best for the community.
Yeah, and so the individual that was shot,
he, last I heard, he is recovering and is expected to make a full recovery.
Fantastic.
Yep.
And again, one of those things is these are always ongoing investigations. More information is going to come to light, especially with a family disturbance.
That's right. And as we speak, the investigators are still looking into it.
Right, trying to be able to figure that out. I love the fact that you guys release information when it's appropriate.
That's correct.
And sometimes even us in the media and certainly people who are trying to find out information, they don't necessarily always understand why it's important for you guys to be careful about how you do things and when you do things.
That's correct. And look, just yesterday we had a missing persons report with an individual that we had released eventually, but we were receiving a lot of pressure and people were kind of beating up on the police department saying that we weren't communicating with the family. But whenever I actually looked into it, our police officers had been working on that missing person since the report had came in. They had already received a lot of information, and we already had 2 investigators assigned to it beforehand. But the information that we had received was, we didn't receive anything telling us that he was in any type of danger. And it appeared more that he just didn't want to be found, and he was missing by his own choice,
right,
and not communicating with his family by his own choice. And quite often, if you release information too soon, it makes the investigation more difficult. You know, but I do want to say that at no point in time did the police department not take that incident serious as it was being portrayed in social media.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of the work that my officers, our officers, and our investigators did on that case, and the fact that this individual was actually located. You know, it was put out there that his vehicle had been destroyed and it was recovered, and it was so many false things that were being put out. It was ridiculous, you know. But he was actually found in his vehicle at a department store, and he was unharmed. Right. You know, and he was missing by his own choice.
And so very often I think we find when we trust what we consider to be a credible resource or a credible source when it really isn't. Right. And a lot of times there's just so much drama that can come from that. It's the police force's job to figure out what should be done and what shouldn't be done at any given time.
And look, and I get it, you know, people want to, and family members want to know what's going on. Well, they'll call the office and we don't know who we talking to.
Right.
You know,
right.
They say they're a family member, and sometimes, you know, they can give us enough information that we can determine through conversation that they are, but we don't know who we talking to on the other end of the phone.
Right.
You know,
and quite frankly, if it's somebody who's trying to gather information, it could be somebody in an open case where they're actually just trying to find out what the police knows.
Right. Right. And look, and one thing that they can rest assured that, you know, whenever we have missing persons, the Houma Police Department does take that serious. And if we're not releasing something at that point in time, it's for a reason.
Right.
And it actually would have hindered the investigation, because if the more pressure you put from social media and things like that, and you put things out into the community, it may push the person to run further.
Right.
And it may want to cause the community to not want to talk.
Right.
So we kind of time things on when we're going to release them. If we think that there's a danger to the public, or a threat to society, I should say, there's going to be an immediate release coming out.
Right.
You know, and if there's indications that someone's life is in danger and we're able to determine that right away, the release is coming out right away.
Right.
But if we have information that's leading us to believe that this person's life may not be in danger, and it may be better that we run more of a covert type investigation to where we can quickly find them, then we'll do that too.
And just because people can't see information on Facebook, just because people don't think something is going on, please don't assume that nothing is happening.
Yeah.
You know, you guys do such a great job at really identifying and addressing issues when you need to, how you need to, and figuring that out. So
that's right.
We appreciate that. And so we're excited about the missing person that is no longer missing. We're glad to know that the person who has those 2 counts of attempted murder is in custody. And thanks to the community efforts and being able to partner with people in our area, that he was brought in and without incident.
That's right.
Turned himself in.
Yes, sir.
So, Chief, we appreciate your time as always.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we appreciate it. All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment, but don't go anywhere. Got a whole lot more right here on Bayou Time and a whole lot more right here on HTV.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products, which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.